Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am playing Townscaper. If you haven't played it before, download it on your iPad, your PC, or your phone. But I play on my iPad, and it's a sandbox Zen building game, sim building game, without the crazy constraints of money or missions or popularity or population. You just build these buildings, usually castle-like structures, gardens and stuff. And I've already built this big, beautiful castle. But what this castle is missing, I built it with staircases and one main entrance. The main entrance is over here where this big tower is. But what it's missing is some ornamental gardens. So back on this side, I'm going to start building. Now what you do, if you haven't played this before, you just start putting blocks down wherever you want. And in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 2-story wall all around a particular area. And it fills it in right away with, there makes a staircase also. See, here's another thing about this game if you haven't played it before. Putting a block down affects what happens next to it. Like this staircase happened because I put 2 blocks next to an empty area, and then it kind of wanted to make a staircase. But I don't really want a staircase there. I want a garden. But I want a bigger garden than this. And I don't want to mess up my... holding the button down on a block makes it disappear. Clicking the block makes a formation happen. So what I want to do is I want to build a big garden area for my rich folks to enjoy. You can pinch, and that's one of the things I like about the mobile version of this game. And I'll tell you the reason I'm making a 2-story wall here is because if you make a 1-story wall, your garden will populate. But I'll show you what happens if you put just a 1-story wall around your garden. There. You get a very beautiful garden, but you don't get the fun stuff that come along with it when you make a 2-story wall. If I make a 2-story wall, I'll be able to make arched entranceways and sidewalks and monuments and water fountains, cool stuff like that. But since I already have this wall kind of coming out there, I'm going to put that like that and make it so that there's 2 stories in here. That's one way of entering it there. I like that little diamond shape above there. Now, I'm going to make a 2-story wall starting over here. Not there. Here. There. And 2-story here. I'm going to make it 2-story because I'll be able to make an archway right there. A nice way of coming in and out. And I'm usually opposite an archway. If it's right across from another archway, you might get a fountain. In this case, I'm not getting the fountain because I don't have walls that are right next to each other. Or, I mean, right across from each other. So let's try to make that happen by adding more to my garden. Another thing I like about this game is that I know you if you haven't joined me for my other games, I play mostly ASMR games. Games that give me a tactile experience. There's an arch that goes through there, but I'm going to take all of this out. There. I kind of made a structure there. That's kind of fun looking. And also in this game, depending on where you put the blocks and how you position them, you'll get interesting roof formations like this. I got a little turret there, some seagulls hanging out. So maybe if I put an arch here and an arch here, nope, an arch here, I got a sidewalk between them. Isn't that cool? It gives a lot more character. You can really zoom in on these, the buildings that you make. I have a very nice little house here. Let's put a little doorway there. That's in a way into the house. If I do that, I make it all disappear like that. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to keep these low like this. And then I'm going to make a staircase. No, I'll close it off here. I'll close it off right there. Or I could make an even bigger balcony. Yeah, let's make a bigger balcony up there for those folks. Wait, I kind of like how that looks. That's interesting, isn't it? Let's make that an archway. No, you can always hit the undo button, which is up there in your menu. I like how that looks. Very interesting. Okay, so I've got a balcony over here. There, I got a balcony that comes out there. I've got a little shipyard in here where I can pull a boat in and get repairs if I have to. This is kind of the staff, where the working folk come in. But I also could do one better than that. I could also make one of these things. There, make a little building with a little hook hanging down there, which if I had to hoist the boat up or get some supplies in, I could do it like that. It's kind of fun. Okay, so we got our castle and we got our garden. Really would love to have, put that back. I would love to have a little more in the garden. So what I'm going to do, if I put a little hut somewhere in there, it builds these little garden walls around it. And other things happen. But I'm going to put the little things in corners like this. That gives me that made a little doorway in there. And made my balcony that I could come out. Our princess and prince can come out of their deck. They could also, no, Yeah, let's make something like this. That's nice. Make a little walkway through there. You know what? I don't put that back. Let's take this out. I'm not crazy about that. But I did want them to walk around there. So let's... No, we don't like that either. Let's take that out. I'm sorry. They get a patio over here and they get a patio over there, and that's what they get. They get what they get. But I'm still wanting something else over here. And that's kind of nice, isn't it? Watch what happens when I put something on the other side of it. I get a little pop of something up there, which is kind of fun. Now, I made an arch, didn't I? Oh, I like that. So I've kind of separated our garden out a little bit. Going a little fast, I'll try to go slower. I don't know if you're playing along or not, but if you are, all you have to do is download Townscaper. I'm not sure if it's free or not. I'm not really sure if I paid. Can't remember. But it can't be very much. Most app games are not expensive. Most of them are free. And then there's a purchase if you want to upgrade or something. But anyway, this one's really worth it. Wow, what a gorgeous castle I made. Look, I've got birds existing up here. What's going on here, you crazy birds? All right, so let's quickly look around our castle. We've got a large wall around the structure. We don't want that. But I did want to bring that over a little bit. There. That's nice. We'll fill that in. We still have a way to get underneath there. But it's more... Now it's a little more controlled. Okay, so... Main house. Down here is your entrance. You get in right here. This gorgeous arch. There's a guardhouse to the right. And a supply a supply building to the left. That's where people come and deliver goods. And it's stored there before it's distributed to the house. Then you got a main house down below, probably a great hall. And then the inside, if you walk up some staircases, you get up into one of these other doors that come out on this great patio. Then walking up another flight of stairs outside, you can go into more suites and stuff. And then you can walk around where the nobility get to stay when they come. Now, that's where everybody gets to stay. Now, way up at the top, this is where our special people live, up here. Where the king and queen live, up there. They got a staircase to their own balcony on that side. And let's close it. Or no, let's leave that open. We'll close it there. We'll make a patio there. Yeah, that's better. They got a patio here. And a little dinky patio over here with a little chair and everything. And all this is happening without having to pay and buy electricity and get SimCity type games. None of that's happening here. It's just sandbox, which is a term which means you don't have constraints. You just build and build. And plus in the background, got all this motion. There's the water and the ripples, birds chirping. Look, I got a bunch of seagulls just existing up at the top of my house. And there's lots of cool things you can do with the time of day. I can turn this night. There's dusk. I can turn it at nighttime and just turn on all the lights, which is very cool. You can build at night. You can also build in the snow. Make an ice castle if you want to. Endless possibilities. But the best thing about it is that it's a very Zen type of building. You don't have to worry about missions and goals and populations and stuff like that. You just build. And I like that about this game. And with just using your finger, you get all these different views. You can spend hours playing this game. I sometimes do on my iPad, just spend hours building. Never the same thing twice. And I used white as my base building. But if I wanted to, I could start building in red. I mean, fuchsia. Or building in green. And in this way, you can start building villages of little huts where your structures have, are different. Or like a little, you could build a town. But I didn't want to build towns in this one. I wanted to build just the castle in the water. There. And I'm going to call it Dunstable Castle. The Clan Dunstable. I think we're done. I hope that you get a chance to download and play Townscaper on your PC, on your phone, or on your iPad or other tablet. It's mountains of fun if you like Zen building sandbox type games like this, where you don't have a bunch of rules, you just build. I hope you enjoy it. Next time we can play together. I'll be streaming later in the year. But anyway, if you like this video, click like, comment if you want to, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.